All right then, good evening, folks. This is the June 12, 2024 edition of the Blight Review Board meeting. We are here in room 206 of Town Hall at 5:30 p.m. First and foremost, I'd like to have a motion to approve the draft minutes of May 8 as submitted. Thank you, Mr. Burke. A second. Mr. Washeka, any changes, comments, corrections, anything else? Then those in favor of approval indicate thank you very much. So that is done unanimously. Let's see, an executive session. Mr. I won't even say your name publicly, and I'm not looking at you, I'm looking behind you folks. Would you like to talk with us, and would you prefer that be an executive session, or?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Then may I have a motion to move into executive session to discuss a matter that may result in a pending claim? Mr. Washeka moved, Ms. Oki seconded. In favor, please say aye. So we are in executive session. I'm afraid the rest of you, I will ask you to step aside. That's unanimous. Thank you. Okay, we are resuming regular session. No particular action needed resulting from our executive session at this point. We have some visitors here, and I want to give them precedence in dealing with them. So I think I saw you folks were here first, so I ought to go with those first. So if you would, you guys are here on file number. Hang on. We try not to mention names or addresses, but actually we're in public session now, so you
23004.
23004. Okay. And so yes, if you would introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Anthony Labella, and I represent Scott and Mary Grundy. They are the owners of, addresses are always the hardest part for me.
23004.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
thanks.
number. Yeah.
23004.
Yeah,
I'll make a note of that. If I may, I've got a handout for
Okay.
the board.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good.
So, we're here. We were requested to come at the committee's
Yes,
last
and we appreciate your
session,
responsiveness.
and we're happy to be here. I should note that since we first became aware of since we first received the notice from this committee, I've exchanged roughly, I think it's about 41 pages of emails with Officer Ferentz.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We are grateful for responsiveness.
Well,
That is
one
good.
comment that got made during the session that I watched the last time that I was upset about was that the owners had not been responsive. That's not correct. Okay. When I respond, I'm responding for my clients, and I work for them. Like, I'm responding for the owners. I just want to make that crystal clear.
Fair enough. I don't recall the comment, but if we said it, I think that was an error.
I said it, and
Okay,
I've spoken to Attorney Labella about it,
okay,
and he's absolutely right.
good, okay.
So
let's move on.
We have. I have to take up a little bit of time because I'm sure there's a story behind every house you look at. This is going to be different than any story you've heard. I guarantee it. Okay. So.
But time is short. We have a hard. I suspect we're going to have to. Anyway, go ahead.
It's not going to take. It's not going to take that long. But I have to get this out. Okay. So, my clients purchased the property on May 27th, 2022, for the sum of $1,055,000. What happened at this property was between July 29 and July 31, 2022. The property was contaminated with asbestos dust throughout the entire house. That happened because they hired a painting contractor. They were doing some work to sort of upgrade the house before they moved in. They hired a painting contractor, and the third line in this painting contractor's contract says asbestos shingles, no sanding. What he proceeded to do, and his workers proceeded to do, was sand about 180 square feet on the outside of the house, with the windows open and fans and air conditioners blowing inside the house. That dust went through the entire house. So my clients, and so that was essentially when I came on board. I was brought on board to chase down that claim with the painting contractor, okay, because they had clearly been negligent and so on and so forth, okay? So, of course, my clients have USAA coverage for their homeowners insurance, and their homeowners insurance ran for the hills. They were not going to cover this as a claim. We couldn't get any funding from the painting contractor immediately, certainly, so they went into their own pockets and spent over $200,000 on the remediation project to clean this house up, okay? So they do all that. Oh, and I want to make one other note that I forgot to mention, okay? Mrs. Grundy is here with me tonight, and with me also is John Torres. He's a project manager from United Property Restorations. They're the company that my clients have hired to restore the house. I want to just, as a note, that Mrs. Grundy doesn't drive. Neither she or her husband own a car. They live in Hastings-on-Hudson right now and don't need a car. Parking over there would be ridiculous. They were planning on buying one once they moved into Darien, but they don't need one now. He works in the city, and she's got some health reasons and some other things going on that really, it's recommended that she not drive. So getting her here either involves a train trip from Hastings-on-Hudson into Manhattan and back here, or an Uber from Hastings-on-Hudson in here. So that's what she did to be here tonight. We've got this lawsuit, and that's percolating against Robinson's Painting, but their coverage is through Nationwide, and Nationwide wouldn't cover an asbestos claim. So they sued, Nationwide sued Robinson's. I jumped into that case on behalf of the Grundys, and after some serious back and forth, we ended up resolving that case at a significant discount from what the actual damages were, but because we probably weren't going to have insurance coverage behind the painting contractor, we had to discount it. So we did that. We wrapped all that up. Now, as that case is started on October 4th, 2022, unrelated to the previous contamination, the rear of this house caught fire, okay? So the house is almost remediated. The house is about 98% done. The back of the house catches fire, and naturally, because the firemen have to break shingles and do all kinds of other stuff to get to the fire, the house is recontaminated now. So it's got all kinds of asbestos throughout the house all over again.
What was the date of that fire?
October?
October 4, 2022.
22, thank you.
Okay? That insurance claim was successful with USAA, but surprisingly, they were a little bit suspicious, okay? So it took them a while to actually approve the claim. They took sworn statements from the Grundys, who weren't even in the state when this happened, you know what I mean? And so it was a whole sort of thing that went on with them. That claim was settled in September, October 2023 for a total loss of $634,000. That's about $138,000 for the remediation expense that going forward, they were going to have to remediate the house all over again, and about $400,000 for rebuilding costs. The first check from USAA, slightly less than $300,000, was received by the Grundys in October of 23. It was sent to their lender the day after they received it. Their lender released those funds from escrow in April of 24. Yeah. So, and that's not without beating the bushes with the bank, because the check goes to the bank and the bank has to release the funds and we have to use the funds to pay the contractor to do the work and all that. So, the contract with United Property Restoration is signed in October of 23, and the demolition permit is issued in November of 23. Exterior demolition of the back kitchen addition was completed in March. We sent the committee photos of that. Major interior demolition started at the end of February and is now largely completed. The house is connected to temporary electrical power, so interior construction can begin once permits are approved for construction. I'll get to that in a moment. The temporary electrical box connecting to the pole structure next to the house facing the street was set up in February, and my clients and United have been focused on getting this approved, getting the work approved through the building department. But guess what happened through the tax assessor? The tax assessor reduced the value of the property because of the fire damage, and now the work exceeds the percentage that's allowed to do. So my clients, 3 weeks ago, we found out, have to go through ZBA to get a variance. I note that my clients and I are meeting with a local zoning attorney, Amy Zabatekis, with the Rucci Law Firm. We're meeting with her tomorrow. She's not sure that ZBA or that the building department is correctly applying that regulation to this circumstance. That's not a commitment of any kind, but that was her first blush take on it. So we're talking to her tomorrow. She'll probably be hired by Friday if I had to guess, okay?
The issue again is that the value that you want to invest in the property is
okay,
is too
the
large?
structure's valued right now at $83,100.
Okay,
So because we're spending roughly $400,000, that exceeds 50% of the assessed value.
so what? I mean, you're
Well,
not,
so
this
what?
is not
You're
a
not-
FEMA rule or anything?
No, it's,
Okay,
I'm considering a made-up rule by the town of Darien, quite frankly, but that's neither here nor there.
All right,
I mean,
that's your issue.
It is what it
Gotcha.
is, right?
Yep.
So we're gonna do what we need to do. If ZBA wants us to, jump a foot high on 1 foot for a while, that's what we're
Well,
gonna
there
do
may
to
be
get this done.
Some legal nonconformity going on, I bet that's what the problem is.
But the property's been non-conforming since it was built in 1920.
Yes.
Okay, so,
but
so,
reconstructing may be a problem, okay.
and it's
Yeah.
all getting improved. It's all getting brought up to code. That's all part of the insurance claim. It's not like, this is being done with
Okay.
bubble gum and,
Yep.
and baling wire, so.
Okay.
Okay, so, the ZBA application was actually filed yesterday because you have to start the application process and there's a meeting scheduled with them next week, I believe, right? And so we've gotten some comments already from them, but we're gonna kind of like work on both prongs of that. If Attorney Zabatekis can figure out that we're not supposed to be in front of ZBA, all the better. But that's where it's at. I don't pretend to be a zoning attorney and I don't want to be a zoning attorney, quite frankly.
Me either, but at this point, I should mention that Attorney Zabatakis is a part of a firm of which I am a part.
I say,
She and I have discussed this. We don't consider this a conflict of interest, and given the relationship we have within the firm and whatnot, and I won't be participating, obviously, in your ZBA thing or
Right.
anything like that, so.
and she specifically said she couldn't come here tonight because of that, but I didn't expect her
Okay.
to. I mean,
Okay.
we haven't even hired her yet, but
Right.
like I said, that's,
Right.
that's where it's at. I did speak to her at some length yesterday or the day before. I don't remember.
Okay,
It's been
yeah,
a big blur, but
I talked to her yesterday, I think.
in any event, so this house, the appearance of this house is not going to change very much while all these other efforts are going on.
That is the nub of the problem, of course, and frankly, to cut to the chase, what we were kind of hoping we could urge you folks to do, well, you have all that interior work to do, but if you could spruce it up on the outside, put on new siding on the outside, which shouldn't interfere with what's going on the inside, then the neighbors could be encouraged that this is now more presentable. If that can't be done, given these issues you're talking about, that's news to us. That's important that we know, and I don't think there's anything we can do about that.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, I don't think we can do work without further permitting, to be honest with you. We don't
Yeah.
have a permit for additional work. It's
Yeah.
just the demolition, and that's been done.
Yeah,
So one way or another, it's gonna move forward, but until that's approved, I just don't think we can do much more than
I
has
hear
been
you.
done.
And I just have to say, we get complaints from the public, and it's been a long process. I can't imagine being the owners having to go through all that. That's very tough. We simply, our obligation is to remedy blight where we see it. We do see it, and but we have not imposed fines, as you know we could, and I don't believe there's any appetite for doing that now, obviously under your circumstances. If there's any way to spruce it up as soon as you can, that's really our bottom line.
That's our bottom line too,
Good.
honestly. That's
Okay.
the plan. But this zoning requirement, which we literally found out about 3 weeks ago, is like a bit of a, bit of
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
sand in the gears. So,
Yeah. All right.
but that's
Any
where
other
we're at.
questions from board members? Then I would thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here. I appreciate the owners and the difficulty they're having in getting here. It is frankly what we need to know, and thank you.
The one, well, it may not be pertinent, but,
Okay, go ahead.
but the one thing I will mention is that there's a particular neighbor who has shown a great interest in the property. And she's also not above, tendering lowball offers to my clients to buy the property. So there may be some
We don't
motivation
want to get
there.
into.
I'm not
negotiations.
throwing any aspersions, and I'm not
Yeah.
giving out any names. I'm just
Yeah.
saying like that is a dynamic that's going on
Okay.
with one of the neighbors, not all of them.
All right.
So,
I'll leave it
you
to
know.
you.
Anyway,
Thank
thank
you.
you very much for your time, appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here. Okay, the next item, I know, do you have the file number for our commercial issue here?
Yeah, sure.
Welcome to town.
Yeah,
24003.
24003. Okay, so if those nice folks would come up, I'm going to recuse myself and ask the senior member of this board, Mr. Burke, to handle the discussion of what is going on here, and I will absent myself so I don't roll my eyes or do anything else to cause people trouble.
So,
There you go.
Bill and Barbara Schaefer were proprietors of the property. I guess something came to bear about this, I don't know how many months ago,
Right.
but we were never notified by the committee or whoever's supposed to be responsible for that to be able to get this done a little bit faster than it really was. And I realized the back of it was a mess compared to what it is at the moment. So he made an attempt to do some cleanup, which obviously not enough. So I sort of said, if you need this table, which I'm surprised he's not here, quite frankly. The table, he is not just a florist. His business is the event business, special events, weddings, et cetera, et cetera. And so they did clean up a lot of the tables that were there before. I don't know if you have a picture of the original.
Not with me right
I
now.
remember, but yes.
I have a picture if you need it or not need it.
That's fine.
It had, this is the gentleman, right, this is Adam.
so sorry, I apologize.
It's quite all right. So in any case, let him explain the purpose of the table. It eliminated a lot of the tables that were there before against the dumpster, which it was not necessarily very attractive at all. So his need for that, I think, is imperative, makes his business a lot easier to be able to perform in a manner that would be successful. Adam?
Hey, Bill, thank you. Hey, guys. Adam, Flowers and Flowers. Yeah, just because that's like our utilitarian table, like where you put the container gardens together. And it's just nicer to have actual space that's not in the middle of the retail. And as well as now that they opened it up for the commuters, it's almost like a path train for the commuters to come through there, more so than anything else. So being back there, in case anything's on there, in case things fall, we're working with our hands and little shovels and stuff. It's safer than having it like right there in the center. Kids running by, get pizzas after school all day. So that's the only reason why I went behind trees.
And the other reason I might add to it, what he's saying is that there has been a path put in there. Years ago, we've owned the building since 1976. And when Heights Pizza, prior to Heights Pizza, was Planet Pizza, to be able to get the zoning needed, what they did was they made us put in a pathway between, on the other side of that, what you see there, a little pathway to, there it is right there, that comes from the commuters walk through there. But it wasn't the purpose of the commuters at the time. It was the purpose of the tenants of the owning of the building to be able to access, to park their cars in that parking lot adjacent to the building, have access to it. So now what has happened is a lot of the commuters use it to get through to the railroad station in a faster manner. So what Adam did was, you notice from here, and the past pictures don't show it, but it was just dirt. Adam put all the wood chips there and also wood chips to the right of it. It cleaned it up considerably, but I just want to make a point that path was put there for the purpose of, way back when, years and years ago, for the tenants of the building, upper and lower. And so they use it now, and it's, the access.
It's become very popular.
Yes, it's very popular.
Very popular.
And used all the time, so, and like I said, and he explained what the purpose of that table was, because he's in the event business, and he uses that table significantly. I wish you could have seen what it was before. Do you have a picture of it? Because I have a picture if you'd like to see it.
No, yeah, that's fine, that's not necessary.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if others, have questions, or if Hank has anything to say. I mean, I don't necessarily think that this is in blight, but
No, it's, the biggest problem was all the stuff that was piled around that table, and there was another table that was, I
Right.
think, falling apart.
and that's been cured.
And he's cleaned it all up.
Right.
And that was the time where I was redoing the store, remodeling it. So a lot of that stuff was coming out during that process.
Right.
Because now the store is finished inside. So I just didn't, only so much room to put things at so much at one time.
Yep.
I would only add that I did kind of try and glance back there as I was driving down Center Street today, and there were lots of plants. It looked actually quite attractive, but I'm not sure I was seeing exactly.
That is the other
right-
side.
Is that okay?
Do you like to see what he's done on the other side? Because that's
She
a
said she
photo.
drove by and saw it, she said.
I just glanced,
But I do have a
knew
photo
it was
of it.
coming up tonight, and so I tried to sort of see how it was looking.
Right.
But that's the other side. Got it.
Exactly.
That's what they actually walked through.
Yeah.
And I put that in the middle of the birch, what you see there in the middle. The reason why I put that there's a huge tree root that goes across there. And believe it or not, they didn't want to walk that little bit around. They wanted to cut through straight. And everyone was tripping over that. I helped 2 women get off the ground because it was dark and there was a big root that was going across. So I had to put that there to stop people from just cutting through there because it was getting dangerous.
Right. Ed, anything?
Nope.
Okay. All right, well, I feel that this is something that we can remove
been
from the list, and it's
remedied,
been cured and not needing of our attention further. If anyone else feels differently.
Yep, I'd say.
All right, so then thank you for coming in, and Hank, let's take this one off the list.
I will do that.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
everyone.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Hank.
it.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Next time you come by, come say hi.
Well, you're never there.
I avoid you.
He's in the back.
There we go.
Back.
Guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we have another member of the public here who would you like to talk to us tonight?
Yes, I was at the meeting last month.
Yes. Okay. Mr. Ferentz, have that file
A
number?
little bit late.
I'm sorry.
I know it's not that one.
No, 16001.
Okay,
Yes.
right. Okay. We dealt with that in executive session last time, I think. Do you prefer that? A little confidence?
I would.
Confidential? Okay.
Yeah.
Then may I have a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing a potential claim that Mr. Washeka moved, Mr. Burke seconded, and it was unanimous. Thank you. Okay. A motion to return to regular session. Mr. Washeka, thank you. Mr. Burke seconds, and that is unanimous. Ms. Boki, right? Thank you. Thank you, Channel 79. Okay, so no action required as a result of that executive session. So we turn now to Mr. Ferentz. Mr. Ferentz, would you focus first on, there are a couple of properties. Let's go, for example, to, oh my, now I need file numbers. 23-11, 011. I know that your pictures don't go quite that easily, but I want to do this, a couple of these while Mr. Washeka is here. He needs to leave shortly.
Right.
So, there we go, okay.
I got a little twist on this one.
Oh, you do, okay.
Yeah. So I sent the mortgage company a notice that they were going to be fined starting on Friday of this coming week.
Yeah.
Other than that they accepted the letter, I have never heard anything from them. So on Monday, when I went out to take these pictures, the neighbor to the right came out and said, "Hey, I had a realtor over here, and I came out and I talked to him. And he told me that you don't have the right information, that this mortgage company is not who you should be contacting." So he gave me the number of the realtor, who's in, I believe, Newington. And I called him and talked to him yesterday. And the mortgage company that I've been sending letters to actually is the money behind a servicing company. And the servicing company is different. So now, anyway, so this realtor told me that he would have everything taken care of. He's going to send it off to the servicing company and get it approved, and everything would be taken care of. And the holdup is that they're trying to get, I guess it was a HUD loan, and HUD sold a group of loans, and they are working through that, and they're trying to get the property actually listed as theirs, since they have the right to it based on the money that's owed them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the holdup is, and they're working through the system.
And what authority, apparent or otherwise, does this Newington agent have?
He's representing the, I'm sorry, he's representing the company that is responsible to the mortgage lender, I guess.
Okay, the servicing company?
The servicing company,
The Newington guy is representing the servicing, okay.
right.
Well, in order to move things along, I suspect we should let this go for now. I assume there's been no improvement in the property, but it's not.
Well, actually, the grass had not been cut, and again, from the neighbor on the right-hand side, he said, I said to the guy, is anybody going to cut the lawn? And the lawn got cut the next day.
Okay.
So,
By whomever, that's fine. All right, well, I think we should leave it at that then, and move on, unless anybody wants to do anything about that. Let's move on to the other one that was the subject of some of, all right, 18002?
yes, there's nothing has changed with this.
Okay. So,
There it is.
and this one has obviously been pending since 2018.
Yes, the
no,
only thing that I
it's
noticed
6
that's
years.
changed in the last month is there's somebody's working on I guess the foundation for the front steps.
So
What-
work is going on.
I did see some people working there, yes. I don't know if they're working on the inside.
Reminds me of my home renovation days.
Oh?
I think we've all been there.
There'd be, the two guys show up and all of
Oh.
a sudden that's, like, it's progress.
Yeah. Well,
So this,
and we
This
don't
property-
hear from these people?
I'm sorry, again?
We don't hear from the owners?
No, we haven't. But they are not currently being fined.
They're not being found.
There is,
Well, I have
there's a $42,700 lien on the property.
right, oh, then there was a building permit issued in September, and this is where they've gotten, okay, well,
And I was just gonna keep track of when I was told by the agent who, that the plan was to list it in April for sale. Obviously, they're not meeting their
probably not.
schedule.
All right, but there is some activity, so while there's some sentiment that after 6 years, it's worthy of considering foreclosing on the lien, if there's some activity, does anybody want to move that suggestion, or shall we let
I
this?
think we would, I mean, if this is gonna get sold, right, so then I would say the lien will be satisfied then.
Yeah,
And the people who bought it, I don't think realized that there was a lien. They bought it
Yeah.
direct, if you recall.
they must have
I
had an
think that's
attorney
what
involved.
happened.
And if for whatever reason we were gonna foreclose on it, be better to foreclose on whatever that finished house is than
Yeah,
this one.
probably. All right, any further discussion on that one? Okay. Then can I also ask you to go to, what is 21-001?
Here we are. Yeah.
I think, right? Yeah. Oh, is that it?
So that's the gentleman that was
Oh.
in here earlier
Oh, all right.
in executive session.
Okay, so that's another one that I
Wait,
don't,
sorry, this is.
That's not
Right.
21001?
oh, have I got?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I apologize. It's 23,001.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Right,
I'm
that's, he was,
sorry.
he was just here.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay,
This is the one.
okay.
Yeah, this is the
Right.
one, this is the one,
Yes.
yes.
Right. So no activity, we haven't heard from anybody, I don't believe?
No.
Been
Well,
pending?
other than the letter that I showed you last month,
Yeah.
that the attorney, from the attorney who had spoken to this person,
I mean,
Oh,
this,
yeah.
or the
From,
relative.
Yeah,
from our town attorney spoke to this.
Yes.
yeah, this to me is the one that we should be
Yeah.
Yeah.
foreclosing on. And
Okay,
Yep,
This is where we have the letter.
if I were ever to
Yes.
make a motion,
Yeah.
it might be the last motion I might ever make on the board.
oh, you're gonna make me tear up, so don't do that. But, I think, you know, if it's been pending for
A long
3
time.
years, over 3 years, we're getting no sense of any improvement. Fines have been running for a while, last known to be at $25,900. So, anybody want to make a motion that we suggest to the Board of Selectmen that they proceed with foreclosure? Mr. Burke did in fact do that, and Ms. Oki seconded that, and those in favor? Okay, that's unanimous. Then we should do that. Mr. Burke would let them know about that through your regular reporting channels?
yes, I
And,
will report that, the selectmen meet on Monday, and I will report that part, well, our whole proceeding, but certainly that aspect of it.
Good, yeah, and since there are now a couple of that we have suggested foreclosure, I think I may find an opportunity to talk with the first selectman and see what the bigger picture is about such activity, so.
All right, would you like the
Okay.
lien updated on that property?
When was it last updated?
That's a good
Yeah,
question.
that looks like it's due.
Yeah.
4/24/23, yeah. Please do. That's over a year more, so
Okay, so,
there we go.
yeah. All right,
Okay, good. Then I think we can go back to regular order, and your timing worked out okay?
Yes. So is it okay with you if I excuse myself?
Yeah, we still have a quorum,
Yes.
if you feel you must. And you'll be missed
Well,
tonight and henceforth. See you around town.
See you tomorrow.
All right, so however you want to go about the
well,
list, Mr.
start
Burns?
at the top of the list.
Good.
I'll skip the first one because we've already talked about
Yeah,
that.
good.
So the next one is 17,011.
Okay.
And there's no changes here.
I drove by that yesterday, and it really got my blood to boiling. I mean, it's just atrocious.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
I'm gonna see if there's any way that we can get a roof put on this guy's house, and then maybe he'd be incentivized to at least chop down the weeds.
Yeah, well, I'm not anxious to make it more visible, however.
Yeah, it may.
Anyway, so this is a 17, so given the same rationale, there's a person living there, right?
Yes, sir.
You've got fines of Looks like at least $50,000.
No, he's got fines, he's got liens right now of 99,500.
99.
And if we update the lien, it'll be 115,100.
I would, given the same rationale we were just talking about, I would think this is right for a foreclosure.
Agreed.
Okay. Ms. Oki, any,
Yeah, I guess. I wonder whether he shouldn't come in and, before we just foreclose, I don't know.
oh, there's a long
Well, there's a
process.
process. I mean,
Yeah.
we moved to recommend, and it wouldn't come up, I don't think, on our selectmen agenda for at least 2 to 4 weeks. It's not like, when we make this recommendation, that it happens overnight. And even after our board were to recommend, it would probably take our attorney a period of time to actually do the legal work. So it's there's still runway left if the
Right,
person
but
wants
has
to.
he ever been invited to come in and
I think,
explain?
if I'm not mistaken, Ms. Ramstack is familiar with this
Okay.
person.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, and just has not gotten any positive response. But I think we will, certainly between any decision to take foreclosure by the Board of Selectmen and the actual commencement of the action, certainly council could send him a letter so that he and his family or whomever else will be aware of what's going on. If Mr. Ferentz has any contact with him in the meantime, I would encourage Mr. Ferentz to let him know what we're thinking. And I just think we can't let this, boy, if I were a neighbor of that, I would, so.
Yeah, but we've talked to everybody else, given them a chance to speak to us.
Yeah.
I don't think he's been invited that I'm aware of, or has he?
That's a fair, well, if we have fines running, yes, he was. He had to have been.
Well, not since I've been here.
Yes, I think that's true. But prior to that,
And not since I've been here.
okay, yep, I think that's true, but what number are we on? 21 double, no.
17-00, I'm sorry, 17-011.
Oh, yeah, okay. He got an official warning on January of 2020. He did not claim his certified mailing, but he got notice of the violation on August 25, 2020. We did then serve him by a marshal, so that was abode service at his home on August of 2020. He was notified of a meeting to be held on September 9, 2020. He did not attend. We gave him notice of the determination on January 28 of 2021. So he missed his opportunity to come in and discuss it. There was another notice of the fines as of March 19, 2021. Fines commenced April 18, 2021. We issued a citation on March 9 of 2022, which was served on him by a marshal. So I guess looks like fines have been running since March of 2022. So we have abided by the process, it seems, and he's had his opportunities. Honestly, I think is he, but I don't know that. Anyway, I think it's time to stir him up.
Fair enough.
All right.
All right, so I'll move to
Got
make
a
the
motion by Mr.
recommendation
Burke.
to the Board of Selectmen that they foreclose on property 17-011.
Thank you. Okay, is there a second? Thank you, Ms. Oki. And then that's in favor, unanimous, thank you. Okay, very good.
Do you want the lien updated on that property?
We should do that, yes, please.
Okay,
It was last done April of 23.
yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, 17-019.
I think we know They've got a dumpster and
They have a dumpster.
we'll see what else happens, but
I-
at this point,
I
yeah, I know,
don't see a lot.
right. Let's give them some more time. 18002,
We've talked about that.
oh, that was today, right, yes.
Yes.
18004, nothing new.
No.
Fines running, the usual.
You're correct.
Okay. 21-001 we talked about. 23-001 we talked about, I think, right? Yes, we did.
Yes.
23-004 we talked about.
We did.
And 23-011 we talked about.
Yes.
Really good. So that leaves the one that you folks handled without me.
Yes,
24-003.
And we move to remove that from the list.
Oh, good, okay. I mean, if only for simplicity's sake, I wasn't commenting. Okay,
And then
what else did I, oh, we have,
23011 we talked about.
yes,
Right.
yeah, we just was, okay, good. All right, so.
23, and we talked about this one. And
Yeah,
that-
I think we're done
Yeah,
on the
that
list.
one's off the list. And we're done. I do have 6 new ones
Oh,
as of last week,
Oh,
but
we
they're
were
not at
thinking-
the point where you need to
Oh,
hear
good.
about them.
good.
But
because
I don't want you to think that I just sit around all day.
We know that's
I
what
have
you
no
do.
doubt.
We know it's out in our minds.
Yeah, really. No, we understand you're quite busy. I've heard that from one of your bosses, I think, so.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no, that was good.
So
That
I've
was
got him
good.
fooled.
Yeah, well, whatever. Oh, no, Jeremy was commenting that you're obviously busy. So let's defer on those until they ripen some.
All right.
As you may have noticed on the agenda, I just added 2 things that have been kind of percolating in my mind. One was that I'm finding every now and then there's some vacant commercial properties that are letting their lawns grow, and the landscaping is getting unsightly. And I thought it only fair to say here publicly that that is an item of blight, and that we would ask the owners of even vacant properties to at least make the outside appearance respectable for their neighbors and for the town itself. So I wanted to make that comment here and now. And similarly, I've noticed there are a couple of commercial properties that have boarded up windows. And some of them have been taking an awful long time to get repaired, and assuming they're in the works. That is also an item of blight under our definitions. So I just wanted to highlight that here publicly, that those are issues that owners should be focusing on their neighborhoods, that they are inappropriate. We understand that it can take a little time to repair these things or attend to them, but they need to be attended to in due course. And if we get complaints from the public, or if Mr. Ferentz wants to take other action, that's on him to do, but I just thought I would say that on the off chance that word gets out publicly. So unless there's any other comment here, okay. Then any other business for today? Good, all right. So Ms. Oki moved and Mr. Burke seconded a motion to adjourn, and it was unanimous. Okay. Thanks very much.